Hello, this is Bonita DeRosa. You are about to listen to the Willis Hour, a segment on Lone Star Internet Radio, in which various city officials discuss news and information about the city of Willis. We encourage you to join in the conversation by contacting the city of Willis at 936-856-4611. You can also visit our website at www.ci.willis.tx.us for more information. Please enjoy the show.
Good morning. My name is Hector Forestier. With me is Zach Goodlander. Good morning.
Good morning, Hector. Happy to be here.
We are here to report the happenings of the City Council meeting on Tuesday, the 19th of April at the City of Willis. Like I always mention, the meeting starts at 5:30, and we encourage the public to come and visit with us. We started the meeting with a public hearing, and the public hearing was basically at the request of Chief Nowak, the Chief of Police, in order to look at the possibility of allowing the police department to give citations in private property, like at the Kroger's Mall, other private places where people are parking at the handicap slot without the proper permits or anything like that. Actually, we had no people that had any comments or anything like that. So the next step will be for us to come up with the ordinance, and like anything in the city of Willis, it will require 2 readings in order to get that ordinance approved. So I imagine we'll start working on that this month and hopefully have the first reading in May.
Yeah, this will be a great benefit. I think a lot of the times people have complained to the police department about this issue, but they haven't had the authority to be able to do anything about it, and this will mitigate that.
That's correct.
Well, and then after that, we went to citizens' inquiry. On the agenda were presentations from both the district attorney's office as well as the YMCA. Neither of them were there.
It was pretty interesting. We know that the district attorney received the email, but he forgot to put it on his calendar, and I imagine the YMCA probably the same thing, especially with the rain that we have had here in the last 2.5 days. But just to go into a little bit of detail, on the police department, the district attorney was going to provide a check from seized items to the federal forfeiture program, and the chief is looking at buying 18 body cameras, some equipment that needs to be part of that, software and some other hardware that goes along with that, and some other equipment that will be installed at the police department as well as in City Hall. On the YMCA, it was a funding request from the YMCA in order to help with the summer camp for the teen center that we have in Willis. You familiar with that, Zach?
A little bit. Basically, they needed $80,000 to keep the program running there. They got $40,000 from United Way, and that $40,000 will cover their scholarships and other maintenance and programs for the kids. But they still lack and still need $40,000, not only for the staff for the Willis program, but also for upkeep and maintenance and to really run the daily operations there. But going back to the federal forfeitures, just goes to show that eventually crime does pay.
It does. Like I said, neither one of them showed up, and we expect to receive that check here pretty soon. We probably have another symbolic presentation in the May council meeting, but in the meantime, we're going to move forward and buy that equipment. We also had in the audience Debbie Campbell from Woodforest Bank, as well as B.J. Spence, who was the manager. They came to see for the first time how the city council moves forward with different actions that we have, and we introduced them. The next item on the agenda was the first and final reading of the ordinance. And we talk about this. This is the city issue probably $1,165,000 worth of certificate of obligations in order to complete some road work throughout the city. We were extremely fortunate that we sent out bids to 12 different banking institutions, and the rate that we received was 1.91, and they moved between 1.91 to about 3%.
Yeah, and then even higher too. So we got a really great number. I think it was 1.9, like you said, and it's from a bank, BB&T branch in North Carolina. An incredible interest rate, really.
It's really good, and we are going to move forward, which is the next item on the agenda. It was actually to award they approved the ordinance, and the next item on the agenda was to move forward with the award the contract that will be doing the paving for the projects. I believe the name of the company is Miners.
That's right.
And the streets that we're looking at paving right now are Young Street,
South Campbell, Rogers Road, Paddock Street, Calhoun Street, I believe.
MLK,
and I think that's it.
Yeah.
The parking lot at City Hall was on that, but that was removed.
We removed that from the. We probably go back in the future to see if we can get a better bid, but it's a little bit too high for what we want to do there. But in the meantime, we're looking at about $3.5 million worth of work in the city, and they'll probably start within the next couple of 2 or 3 weeks.
And actually deducting that City Hall parking lot project from the paving overall project, that'll deduct $280,000 from the project.
So that was the next action item.
Right,
we had
that deduction there. So saving the city some money right there up front. The next item was consider and take action on a proposed development agreement between the city and a property owner at 13705 FM 2432 to serve city utilities outside city limits.
I'll let you talk about that since you're the one who sent me that to my desk.
Well, basically, what we do is any commercial and residential property owner outside city limits that wants city utilities, we require them to go through a development agreement, which just stipulates that they'll get permitting, their plumbing will get inspected, and that they request annexation. In this case, it's a commercial property. I believe they plan on doing an event hall, and they wanted to get city service for their sewer. So as per procedure, we put it before council, and council approved it. So
one of the things that agreement allows is that the city eventually can go ahead and annex that portion of the land, right?
Right, exactly. It gives us a lot more flexibility, a lot more say in how the development goes around us, because it will be a future part of the city.
Okay. Moving on, what was the next item?
The next item was approving a utility easement across city property for another sewer line, this time to serve Elliott Motor Control Company, which is on Highway 75.
This is an interesting item, and it was also approved by council last night. Basically, we have a neighbor of the city that owns some property and needs to get connected to the sewer because he has a failing sewer system. Mm-hmm. So he wants to be connected to the sewer lines that we have, and we just opened that new lift station in Calhoun Street. He's adjacent to the city property, and basically the council just allow them to connect directly without having to go and get easements or right-of-ways, whatever the case might be.
Yeah, this was a property that just happened to get missed, mostly due to topography in our sewer line expansions previously. But in this case, they'll connect right to a manhole next to the lift station on Calhoun Street.
Okay.
Next, I'll go ahead and cover the next two items together. It was approving the purchase of a lot next to MLK Park from the estate of Herbert Dawson, as well as approval of a purchase of a lot next to MLK Park from the estate of Jesse Surgers. You want me to cover this one?
Yeah, please.
Okay, well, both of these lots are adjacent to our MLK Park. One was much smaller. They offered to sell it to the city at the appraised value, only $1,730. That was approved. The next one was a little bit of a larger lot. It includes a house as well. But in this case, the homeowner had died, so they were more or less ready to sell. And in this case, they sold it for the appraised value again at $52,710. And really, what this does for the city is it gives us a lot more flexibility in the future on whether or not we want to expand MLK Park. Really consolidates it.
We also need to let the public know that these two properties, at least one of the properties, was encroaching into city property.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why we went ahead and worked with the owners in order to get the property from them. Unfortunately, in the process of working with the Surges, Mr. Surges passed away in December. So it's making it a little bit more difficult until they get the will probated and we get an independent person administering the will. But both of them were approved, and within the next 6 to 8 weeks, we should be able to take ownership of those two lots.
Exactly.
How about if we take a break right now? We are approaching rapidly the end of the meeting. It was a very fast-paced meeting last night, so we're going to take a meeting and join us back in a couple minutes.
You're listening to the Willis Hour on Lone Star Internet Radio. You're listening to the Willis Hour on irlonestar.com.
Welcome back. This is Hector Forestier, along with Zach Goodlander. We are reporting on the council meeting that took place on the 19th of April. Now we're going to be discussing the reports that were given out by the staff. You want to start with the engineering report?
Sure. Well, this is a time for department heads from the city to talk about any ongoing projects or future projects they might have, or for council members to, suggest any ideas for future business items. First, we had the engineers report. Gave us a pretty thorough update on all the utility projects going on in town. At this point, utility relocates are almost done on Campbell Street, Paddock Street, as well as Rogers Road. And that contractor is at this time working on utility relocates on 1097 East. As well as, as the engineer stated, the design process for a new cooling tower is also in progress. And this is because our current water source, or one of our water sources, is the Catahoula Aquifer. And it comes down from several thousand feet below ground. It comes up to the surface very hot and with an odor different from what we're used to. So this cooling tower will really be able to mitigate that and make some better quality water for our residents.
Yep. He also gave us a quick update on the fact that construction already started on what we are calling right now the West Side Connector, which, by the way, Zach, that brings an item that we discussed last night in the city manager's report, where I asked the council to start thinking about a name for that road. You have an idea?
Well, I throw this out, but we do have a city employee that's been with us for 35 years, and she's a little shy about it, but I'm thinking Brenda Burns Parkway. That's our city secretary. She's been with us for 35 years, and she will be retiring next month.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, she's with us for 35 years, and she's done a great job. That's a good idea. Let's see if we can move it forward. From my end, I reported to the council that on August the 25th, we're going to have the Economic Summit starting at 6 o'clock, from 6 to 8 o'clock at the North County Community Center. And it's been a very good event the last 3 or 4 years that we have had it. We're going to be providing more information about that, and the speakers and the agenda will be posted here soon.
I think we should probably touch on 1097 in town.
Okay.
From Highway 75 to Interstate 45. That's a TxDOT project. Basically, all that we're waiting on now is for Verizon to finish up their part of the project. I think they have their lines under the new poles, right, but they haven't taken down their old poles yet. So as soon as that's done, the road contractor for the state will move in, Smith & Company, I believe, and get started on that, hopefully before the end of the month, really.
Right. That's what we're hoping. That by itself is probably anywhere between 12 to 16 months worth of construction there. And it's going to be interesting to see how the traffic is going to move back and forth, east and west.
Yeah.
That is pretty much the gist of the meeting that took place on the 19th of April. We did have our trash off day on last weekend.
Right.
And it was a pretty good success. I think we collected about 230,000 pounds of trash.
Yeah, it actually almost set a record, which was set just after Hurricane Ike. We almost matched that this year as far as tonnage collected in trash.
And the city's looking a lot cleaner, a lot better, and I appreciate your hard work, Zach. And we invite the public to come and visit us. Again, we meet on the third Tuesday of every month at 5:30, and we'll see you next month.
You're listening to the Willis Hour on Lone Star Internet Radio.
I'm Lieutenant Bob Berry with the Conroe Police Department, reminding you that drinking and driving do not mix. Drinking and driving causes an alcohol-related fatality every hour in the United States. Stay sober and stay alive.
Did you know there are more than 790 abused and neglected children currently in foster care in Montgomery County? Will you help make a difference? I'm Allie Stevens with Casa Child Advocates of Montgomery County. We train and support volunteers to be the voice of children in the foster care system. Kids removed from their home because of abuse and neglect, and we need volunteers just like you to advocate for these children. To learn more about becoming an advocate, please visit CasaSpeaksForKids.com. That's CasaSpeaksForKids.com.
Lone Star Internet Radio is now bringing you the weekly business hour show each Monday morning at 11 a.m. My name is Rick Schissler, and I will be your host. Each week we will be bringing you local, area, and national business news that you can use. The program will also feature an interview with a local or national business person who will share their own experiences, successes, and failures in operating their businesses. Our show is for anyone who already owns a business, whether they work solo or have employees, and for those who are thinking about starting their own businesses. A bit of information about myself. Again, my name is Rick Schissler, and I am a Silver Fox advisor who has over 40 years' experience as a serial entrepreneur. As a part of our show, I will offer some advice and encouragement on our monthly topic, and I will take your questions by email at rschissler@silverfox.org or call into the station at 936-647-3776. See you on the radio Monday at 11 a.m. for the weekly business hour.
Heaven's Army of Resources and Recreation Center is a 501c3 nonprofit organization featuring a 10,000 square foot building located at 19325 FM 1485 West, New Caney, Texas. At Heaven's Army, we offer over 26 different services free for all ages, from karate, dance, drug and alcohol classes, anger management, parenting, food and clothing pantries, to just name a few. We are supported solely by volunteers and private donations. Our main mission is to glorify God in all that we do. At Heaven's Army, we strive to be a hand up, not a handout. Come check us out at 19325 FM 1485 West, New Caney, Texas, or call for more information at 281-689-5864. You may also learn more about Heaven's Army by visiting our website at heavensarmyofresources.com.
You're listening to the Willis Hour on irlonestar.com.
Good afternoon, and thanks for listening here to the Willis Hour on Lone Star Internet Radio. I'm so glad to be with you today. I'm Lauren Swanke, and I'm with 1097 Willis Monthly News. We're the community newspaper for Willis, Texas, and it's always a pleasure to be with you here on Lone Star and to be able to bring to you some of the community happenings in Willis and even in Montgomery County. As I always say, I know we've got listeners all over the area and some even outside of Montgomery County, so maybe some of you will be interested today and the things that I have to share with you, whether you live in Willis, in Montgomery County, or beyond. I had a chance earlier, or I should say late in March, I guess, to to sit down with Cindy Cochran with the Cindy Cochran Show, and it airs here on Lone Star every weekday from 10 to 11. And Cindy is a whole lot of fun. If you have not had a chance to listen to her program, I encourage you to go online and listen to one of her archives. She has a lot of energy. She's got a great attitude, and she's just a great gal. And so it was a lot of fun to be able to be with her on her program. And it was neat because she has a regular call in from, I believe, from San Francisco. And this gentleman called in a couple times whenever I was talking with Cindy. And I just thought, man, it's really cool how the internet connects people all over the world. You know that. It's not like a secret. Everybody in the world knows that. But whenever you experience that, you know, and you have somebody call into your to a program that you're on in Conroe, Texas, downtown Conroe, Texas, and they're calling in from California, that's just kind of cool, you know? And so anyway, it's fun to be here with you today, whether you're listening in Willis or in the Woodlands or even in California. Welcome. I'm so glad that you're here listening to the Willis Hour and wanting to know what's going on in our sweet town of Willis, Texas. And so it's a pleasure to be with you today. I do have some cool information for you, some events that are coming up and things that I think you'll want to know about. It's always fun to come in and follow up with the city of Willis and with their program here, the Willis Hour, to be able to follow up our friends there at the city and to tell you about some specific events that if you live in the area, you can jump in and participate. Now, I did notice on my way into the studio today a certain event. It is not a Willis event. So before I jump into the Willis events, I wanted to give you guys a heads up on a great Conroe event, and it's Kids Fest. It's the last Saturday in April, and I'm telling you, if you're looking for something fun for your kids to do and you are in Montgomery County, do not miss this event. It is incredible. I've gone the last couple of years and taken my kiddos, and it's just about as good as any like day at a theme park for kids. It really is. And I mean, my kids are 5 and 7, so they're little, but I think even if you have big kids, they would really enjoy this event. And so basically all of downtown Conroe is shut down and, blocked off for every fun thing that you can imagine as a kid. It's all here. It's really cool. They've got a live stage or a stage for live entertainment over on the courthouse steps, and they've got every kind of dance group and singing group and theater group that performs there in that area. They have an arts area. They have a global area where they talk about, recycling and all of the things that, kids need to know about related to taking care of the planet. There's a sports area, just a little bit of everything. And it's a whole lot of fun. It's totally free. So I just wanted to give you guys a heads up on that. Before I jump into Willis events, I saw the banner as I was coming into downtown Conroe, and I thought, man, I love that event so much. I've got to put it on my calendar. We've got to be able to get out here with my kiddos because they really enjoy it every year. And I just encourage you to be sure to come out and bring your kiddos. It's the last Saturday in April, and it's in downtown Conroe. Now then, talking about Willis, a sweet town in North Montgomery County here in Texas. It's just a great community, and I really am so thankful to be a part of the Willis community. And to be able to bring some of the news that's going on in Willis is just a whole lot of fun. We're a monthly newspaper, and so we come out on the first Monday of every month. If you're listening and you haven't heard of us before, you can pick up the paper in a number of stores throughout the Willis community. Some of you guys might get it in your mailbox. We do mail out to a specific routes in the Willis 77318 zip code, but we also have papers that are out all around town all throughout the month. So be sure to pick up your copy. I always recommend if somebody says, where do I get a copy? Just keep an eye out in your restaurants. Of course, if you visit Cilantro's or Zach's or Leroy's or, any of those places, super great places to sit down and have your dinner. And while you're there, pick up a copy of the paper. Super Burger carries it, just a number of restaurants. Also, pretty much everybody in the Willis community shops at or visits, runs into, picks up something from Kroger Marketplace. It's kind of like the center of the community, especially in terms of, groceries and retail and that type thing. So be sure to pick up your paper. You will not be sorry that you did. Here's some information, some things that are going on in the community. One of the things before I get into the events, and I promise I do have some events to tell you about in Willis. But before I do that, on this month's cover, or this month's front page, we're talking about Montgomery County Historical Commission developing a biography of World War I veterans. So I love this story because it ties in all of Montgomery County, and it's about the Historical Commission. And if I know one thing about Montgomery County residents and Willis residents in particular, it's that they love history of this community and this area. And I just sat down this morning with Lori McDonald, who's the owner of Thomason House. It's an antique store there in Willis. And I'm telling you, she has got some great, great stories about the history of Willis. She's got some great roots in Willis. And I know that many of you guys that are listening in today, you might have roots in the Montgomery County area. And so I want to tell you about this book. Now, the Montgomery County Historical Commission is developing this book, and it's based around the end of hostilities during World War I, which ended on November 18th, 1918. So the armistice, that date, November 18th, 1918, they're actually wanting to have this book published by November of 2018. So basically the 100-year anniversary of the armistice. And what they're wanting to do is put together a biography of as many World War I veterans from Montgomery County as they possibly can. And so if you know someone, or if you know of someone, if you have a family member or a friend or someone that knows someone that is connected to a World War I veteran, obviously, you know, that generation has passed, but maybe you're a grandson or granddaughter or great-grandson of one of these individuals that are from Montgomery County that served in World War I, the Montgomery County Historical Commission wants to talk to you and get information about that individual, to get their story, and to be able to share it with the Willis community, with the Montgomery County community, not just Willis, and really with the world. You know, I just think it's going to be a great book, and I'm really excited for you guys to be able to read it and to learn more about the history of those World War I veterans. So to be able to get that information into the hands of a Montgomery County Historical Commission member, you need to shoot them an email. And that email address is mchc.ww1@gmail.com. So that is the email address for the Montgomery County Historical Commission and the group that is actually developing this book. There's more about this story in the April. My goodness, I don't want to jump ahead just yet. We are still in April. And so it's in the April issue of 1097, talking about a story of heroes and those World War I veterans from Montgomery County. Now then, talking about events, I told you I was going to share some events, some things that are going on in Willis coming up. Now then, we are right here at the end of April, April 21st. It's hard to believe. I know the month of April has just flown by. But there are a couple of events that I thought might be important to you if you're listening today that you might want to get involved in. One is May 14th at the North Montgomery County Community Center. The fire department is going to be hosting their first ever 9-alarm chili cook-off. And that's going on, like I said, on May 14th at the North Montgomery County Community Center. And it's going to be, I'm sure, just a great event. It's going on there in Willis, and I encourage you to check it out. Maybe you are a part of a cooker team, or maybe you just love cook-offs. I think this will be a good one for you to check out, so be sure to do that. Now, second thing, the Lions Club, the Willis Lions Club, a great group of people involved in some really neat works in the Willis community. They have an annual gun raffle drawing on May 16th. So that means if you want to get in on buying tickets to support the Lions Club and their benevolent works, and you want to try to win a gun from them, you need to do that before May 16th, because there will be drawing on May 16th for that gun raffle. And basically the Lions Club, I'm telling you, they are doing an awesome job. Their article this month in the issue of 1097 is all about how much they are able to give in the way of scholarships to Willis High School, and how they're just doing a great job in that area. So I encourage you to be sure to read that article as well. I'll be right back here on the Willis Hour on Lone Star Internet Radio. So glad you're listening in today.
You're listening to the Willis Hour on Lone Star Internet Radio.
At Jazzy Junk, volunteers reclaim, restore, and recycle. Jazzy Junk is a non-profit resale storefront where you will discover wonderful, unique finds at very affordable prices on furniture, antiques, books, art, home decor, and more. When you shop Jazzy Junk, you support New Danville, a community for adults with developmental disabilities. We receive new donations daily, so plan a visit to Jazzy Junk today to find that perfect item or gift. Our motto is here today, gone today. So remember to hurry in and shop often for the best selection. Jazzy Junk is located in the outlets at Conroe on League Road and I-45 North. Call 936-441-4500 or visit our website, jazzyjunk.org. That's JUNQUE for more information and store hours.
Howdy, howdy, folks. Cable Smith, host of the Lone Star Outdoors Show, inviting you to join me Saturday mornings from 7 to 8 on Lone Star Internet Radio for Texas' premier hunting, fishing, and outdoor talk show. So pour yourself another cup of coffee and pull up that stool a little closer to the old campfire, because if you can catch it or kill it in Texas, we're going to talk about it. That's right. Bucks and ducks, gobblers, monster bass, redfish, trout, and a whole lot more. Plus, you never know what outdoor celebrity is going to drop by, from Phil the Duck Commander Robertson to fishing legend Bill Dance or everybody's favorite uncle Ted Nugent. Heck, we might even mix in an interview and hear some brand spanking new Texas music from one of your favorite Texas musicians like Robert Earl Keen, Brandon Ryder, or the honky-tonk kid himself, Aaron Watson. Loved or hated but never ignored, it's the Lone Star Outdoors Show with me, Cable Smith, Saturday mornings from 7 to 8 right here on Lone Star Internet Radio on irlonestar.com.
Did you know there are more than 790 abused and neglected children currently in foster care in Montgomery County? Will you help make a difference? I'm Allie Stevens with Casa Child Advocates of Montgomery County. We train and support volunteers to be the voice of children in the foster care system. Kids are removed from their home because of abuse and neglect, and we need volunteers just like you to advocate for these children. To learn more about becoming an advocate, please visit CasaSpeaksForKids.com. That's CasaSpeaksForKids.com.
Hello, Montgomery County. I'm Rachel Baldwin with Special Olympics Texas, Area 6. Are you a fan of courage? Are you a fan of determination? Are you a fan of acceptance, grace, and skill? Then you're already a fan of Special Olympics. Make it official. Volunteer, coach, and or compete and be a fan of dignity and acceptance. The dedication of our Special Olympics Texas volunteers provides mainstreaming experiences for athletes with intellectual disabilities. You will touch the heart of another person, and it will move you in a meaningful way that lifts the spirit. Please visit the Heart of East Texas Area 6 webpage at www.sotx.org. Also, like us on Facebook to be a fan and be part of Special Olympics Texas.
You're listening to the Willis Hour on irlonestar.com.
Welcome back here to the Willis Hour on Lone Star Radio. I'm so glad to be with you here today and sharing with you about things that are going on in the Willis community. My name is Lauren Swanke, and I'm with 1097 Willis Monthly News. We're the community newspaper in Willis, and it's just a pleasure to be with you here today, telling you about what's going on in Willis. Now, you know, I ended our last segment telling you about some events that are going on in Willis, and so I'm just going to carry that on because there are some good things going on in the community that I think you don't want to miss out on. Now that I'm just going to kind of go through some of the community events that you can find in the April copy of 1097 and share these with you. One of those is right here, and I'm just going to pull up the date. Here we go. Vista Academy of Willis. Vista Academy is actually soon to be Willis Classical Academy. They're changing their name. It's a great charter school there in the Willis community. They're going to be hosting information sessions, and they actually had one on the 19th. They're actually going to be having another one on April 26th at 6 p.m. And the school is located there on the campus of Family Faith Church. And so if you're familiar with Family Faith Church in Willis, they're right down the street from Pizza Shack. And so all the world of Montgomery County is familiar with Pizza Shack. So, in talking about Vista Academy of Willis, they're going to be hosting their information session and sharing information about the school, and at this information session for parents that are interested, again, on April 26th at 6 p.m. It's going to happen in the Sanctuary of Family Faith Church, and they're going to be sharing information about the classical transition of the school, dress code. They're going to meet the campus director and just find out more information all about the school. And so if you are interested in, finding a spot for your kiddo there or just checking it out, I encourage you to get in contact with them. Their number is 936-890-0100. And again, that's Vista Academy of Willis changing over to Willis Classical Academy, having an information session. Don't miss it if you're interested. Now then, also don't forget about, and I tell you about this event pretty much every time I come on, and I'm with you each month, but it's the Willis Farmers Market. And one of the things that I just found out this week, which I thought was really cool, and I think you're going to like this, the Montgomery County Market Days, the Willis Farmers Market, it's held on the first and third Fridays of the month. Now, that's not new information. The new information is that they're going to be open from 3 to 7 p.m. And so the cool thing about that is, now when I've told people about this event before, if they are employed outside of the Willis community, it's kind of tricky to get over there before it would close. And so, if you're coming from Spring, from, anywhere outside of, Willis proper, if you will, you're going to be able to get there before things wind down, now that it's going to be there from 3 to 7, which I love it, because now here we are getting into those longer days, approaching summer, and you guys can get out there and enjoy the Montgomery County Market Days, which is a Willis Farmers Market for you and your family. They have a lot of cool stuff there, a lot of local artisans and farmers have their products there. And I just think if you're looking for like eggs, like, homegrown eggs, or you're looking for like soap, like goat's milk soap, any of those type things. I know they have food vendors there. I believe last time that I saw, they had a barbecue vendor there, and I think they regularly have an Indian food vendor there, which is kind of uncommon to be found in Willis. You should check it out. It's really cool. Again, that's the first and third Fridays of the month. It's starting to be now from 3 to 7 p.m. and it's at 101 South Bell Street. It's right next door to Montgomery County Milling, and it's if you're not from Willis and you say, hey, I want to check this out, if you just take the 1097 exit off of the freeway, and then you turn to your right and you come all the way down 1097, basically you're going to dead end into Montgomery County Milling. And so just be sure, come visit us in Willis and check out the Willis Farmers Market. Now, that's another cool event that's going on in Willis. Let me see, what else do I have here? Okay, the Willis American Legion Post and Auxiliary number 618. Now then, the Auxiliary and the American Legion Post in Willis is a very active group of individuals. They are so hardworking, and they work so hard for veterans. And so I love this organization. I love some of the individuals that are involved in this group. They're just a great group of people. Many of them retired, many of them former members of the military, and they're veterans, and they're doing their work to help other veterans, which I love it. Now, they're going to have a cook-off. We were talking about cook-offs earlier, so if you're a cook-off fan, they're having a cook-off. It's a Sons of the American Legion cook-off, and it's happening next weekend, April 29th and 30th. It's going to have a cakewalk, a silent auction. They're going to have raffles. Now, I have to tell you, when the American Legion Post and Auxiliary 618 has a party, they really have a good time out there, and they've got just lots of fun talking about a cakewalk, silent auction, raffles. They're making money to help out veterans. And so if you like that kind of thing, be sure to check out that event. Again, it's April 29th and 30th. One of the things that I wanted to be sure to share with you guys about today, because I think this one's super important for all of Montgomery County, it's that North Shore Republican women, they're going to feature a runoff candidate 20-minute forum for 6 candidates at their May 4th general membership meeting. And so I think this could be a really good opportunity for you to go out and to check out these candidates that are running in the runoff in May. That runoff date is May 24th, and so you can head out and be sure to find out more information at the North Shore Republican Women Meeting. Now, here's a little information. They're also going to have a speaker, John Bracken, who's the CEO of Montgomery County Youth Services. This luncheon is held at Bentwater Country Club, and they start signing at 10:30 a.m. If you are planning to go, you do have to make reservations, and so you can make your lunch reservation. It just has to be done by Monday, May 2nd. And so maybe you're listening today and that's something that you want to get in on. Be sure to visit nsrepublicanwomen.org for more information. That's nsrepublicanwomen.org. That stands for North Shore Republican Women. They're a super organization, just all about getting information into the hands of the public. And I think after our last election, it's so important, and we talked about it here on the program, how very important it is to be informed, to be an informed voter. And so this is a great opportunity to inform yourself and to be a prepared voter going into that May runoff election. I've been telling you all about these great events going on in Montgomery County, and this is kind of the last one that I'm going to wrap up with. And this is actually a little bit outside of Montgomery County, but it's one that I think you might be interested in. It's the St. Mary's Quilt Show, and it's going to be held April 29th from 9 to 4 and April 30th from 9 to 3 at St. Mary Catholic Church in Plantersville. Plantersville has got just all kinds of history going on out there, and so I think that as far as interest in checking out that area, it might make kind of a fun day trip. And they're having this quilt show. It's going to be really awesome, and it's happening on April 29th and 30th. It's a super event. It's going on at St. Mary's Catholic Church in Plantersville. And I just think, they are all about the technology on this deal. They've got a website for it. It's stmarysquiltshow.com. And also you can search them on Facebook. And so they're ready to show off those quilts. And I think you can go out there and enjoy a day of history too, checking out Plantersville and that area, just a little outside of Montgomery County. And so I'm so glad you guys are listening today, and glad to have you with us here on the Willis Hour on Lone Star Radio. One last thing, I just saw a separate event that's happening in Willis that happens regularly, and it's the Alzheimer's Support Group. They have meetings that are held the first Thursday of the month from 11 to 12 at the North Montgomery County Community Center. In my own family, I've had grandparents that have suffered from Alzheimer's, and I've had, my parents serve as caregivers for my grandparents. And I tell you what, that is no small thing. That's a huge, awesome, wonderful thing. And I know that those individuals, both that have Alzheimer's, they need support, and those individuals that are caring for the people with Alzheimer's, they also need support. And so I just would say, hey, be sure to check out this support group, because I think they can offer you some insight and some help, and they're a great group of people. Again, it's the Alzheimer's Support Group. They have meetings that are held the first Thursday of the month from 11 to 12 at the North Montgomery County Community Center, and they offer a supportive environment where people with dementia have the opportunity to meet others with those similar challenges, and then also caregivers can meet concurrently where they identify needs and share tips, and I think it's just a real supportive environment. So if you're listening today, you find yourself in that situation, I think that's a great place for you to plug in. Again, thanks for listening here to Lone Star Radio. I'm Lauren Swanky. I'm with 1097 Willis Monthly News, and it's always a pleasure to be with you here. We're the community news radio. I should say we're the community newspaper, joining you here on the radio to talk about the Willis community. And it's just always fun to be here with you. Thanks for listening in. We'll be back this next month joining you on the Willis Hour.